Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to my 3 Takeaways episode from the interview that I just released with my good friend, Tania Yelton. That had to have been actually one of my most fun podcast guests that I've ever had because, like I said at the beginning of the interview, I had actually tried to interview Tania about 2 years ago, almost like to the day. And I did it without microphones. I did it with just a camera because I hadn't started a podcast yet. I didn't really know too much about podcasting. I just wanted to take action. I just wanted to do an interview. And then after I learned a little bit, I was like, I just can't have the poor audio quality of just having a camera with no microphone. So we had to scratch that interview. And finally, 2 years later, we made it happen again. And it was so much fun. We've been good friends for 4.5 years. She's been a mentor, a role model for me, and somebody that I've just looked up to for a long time. And so it was great to be able to have such an awesome conversation about how to define success for yourself. That's the foundation of everything. The foundation of becoming the best version of yourself starts with defining what that means for yourself. It's not letting somebody else define what the best version of yourself looks like. It's not letting somebody else say what job you should take. Have somebody else say what you should do with your fitness routine. Have somebody else say how fast you should run a mile. No, you define success for yourself. That's the theme of the entire episode and the entire interview I did with Tania. And it was so much fun. You guys need to make sure you go back and listen to it if you have not yet already. Before I get into my 3 takeaways, if you're not getting my Monday Motivation Trio 111 newsletter in your inbox, you're missing out. Monday morning is the most important time of the week because it sets you up for success. It can build so much momentum that you can carry through the rest of the week. If you have a bad Monday, you know Tuesday and Wednesday is brutal, and then it comes to Thursday and Friday, and you're like, how is this week not over yet? But if you have a badass Monday and you absolutely crush it, then Tuesday and Wednesday, they can be a breeze, and then Thursday and Friday come by, and you're like, how is it already Friday? The week's already over? That's awesome. Monday sets you up for success. So make sure you go to nickcarrier.com/111-newsletter to get one motivational quote, one inspiring video, and one badass workout so you can crush Monday and set yourself up for success for the rest of the week. Again, nickcarrier.com/111-newsletter. With that being said, let's get right into my 3 takeaways. Number 1 is lean in. And this came right from the beginning of the interview. She's been in the fitness industry for over 2 decades now. And I asked her, what's the difference between somebody who is consistent with their exercise routine versus somebody who's not? And she talked about how the phrase that kept coming up in her mind is lean in. So many people, when they start something, and this is like New Year's resolutions 101, are like, okay, I'm going to start training for a marathon. I'm going to start lifting weights. I'm going to start doing yoga. I'm going to start biking. I'm going to start swimming, and all these things all at once. That is not leaning in. That is jumping in full throttle. But for most people, the best thing is to lean in, to dip your foot in, put it on one step, and then put it on the second step in. If it's like going in, right? I'm trying to bring the analogy of going into a cold pool. Instead of just jumping in full throttle and potentially getting hypothermia, step in one step. Get the feel for that. Then go the next step. Let your body adjust to that. The third step, let your body adjust, and then you can finally do the entire thing, because then you're actually able to stay in the entire time. If you jump in a cold pool, you're trying to get out of that thing as quickly as you possibly can. So don't let that happen with fitness. Don't jump in full throttle for 1 week, 2 weeks, for a month or 2 months, and then you're like, I am out of here. This is brutal. Lean in, start small, build that, literal and metaphorical muscle, and then optimize it from there. You have to build a habit first before you optimize it. Takeaway number 2 is comparison is the thief of joy. Be sure to define success for yourself. And that's what I just talked about beforehand. That's the theme of the entire episode. She has that quote written on her bathroom mirror. Comparison is the thief of joy. Because every single one of you, me included, has had the experience of when you pull up social media and you see somebody else doing something and you're like, damn, I want to be doing that, or I want to look that way. I wish I had that. I wish I was doing this. And we could have been really happy up to that point, and then boom, it was gone because we compared ourselves to the other person. Again, like she said in the interview, it's not the responsibility of the other person. It's not the other person's fault that you're feeling that way. It's your fault that you're feeling that way. So you need to take charge of that emotion. And like Tania did, she blocked people who she felt like she was triggered by and she compared herself to. again, had nothing to do with the person, had all to do with herself. And she talked also about how she has the Strava app. She's a big runner. And so one day she felt really good. She ran 5 miles, felt good about her time, and logged that she did 5 miles. And then she scrolled down, and then somebody else had just done 7 miles. And then she was pissed off. She was like, damn it, that person is better than me. But comparison is the thief of joy. Don't let somebody else's version of success limit your own version of success, or don't let it change what success means for you. Takeaway number 3 is anything in excess is dangerous. And to me, I absolutely loved this because there's such this balance right now in fitness and with fitness influencers and just influencers or in general who are like, oh, like she used this example in the interview. She was, oh girl, you can eat cake every single day if you want. Do that. Like be who you want to be. Do that kind of stuff. But there's also this end of the spectrum where it's like no pain, no gain. You need to work out 7 days a week. You need to bust your butt and all that sort of thing. But both of those things are the excess versions of kind of health, fitness, and wellness, right? Everything in moderation is going to be your best bet in order to be consistent and in order to keep your mind and your body in a safe space, in a place that you feel happy and that you feel comfortable, and with your body that you don't actually get injured. When she talked about this towards the end, I thought this was really key. You've got to remember why we eat healthy and why we move our bodies. It's because at the end of the day, we're fueling our body for health and wellness. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. We're fueling our body for health and wellness so that we can feel good. And most of the time, you don't have to do the extremes in order to make your body feel good and to be healthy and feel good about yourself. So don't go to either end of the extremes. That's dangerous. Try to stay somewhere in the middle. There's going to be times where you move a little bit towards one area, towards one extreme or towards the other extreme based off of maybe the day or the week or the goal that you're chasing after. But always make sure if you spend time towards an extreme that it's probably needs to be probably relatively limited. So again, guys, my 3 takeaways. Number 1 is lean in. Don't go all in. Step on the first step, adjust to the first step. Then the second, adjust to that. Then the third, then you build that muscle to be able to sustain whatever it is that you're trying to form the habit of. Takeaway number 2 is comparison is the thief of joy. Define success for yourself. Don't let anybody else define what success means for you. And if you have somebody on social media, if you have somebody out there who is taking away your joy because you are comparing yourself to them, take ownership of that. Don't blame them. Take ownership of it and find your way to remove yourself from that person. Takeaway number 3 is anything in excess is dangerous. She talked about how she was running 1 mile sprints in the rain, and she was like, that was going to be dangerous for me and it caused my injury. But then at the same time, you can't just say that I'm going to eat cake every single day and I'm going to be happy with my body no matter what. I can just do whatever I want to do. That's the extreme as well. Find some place in the middle because that's really what's going to lead to overall fueling your body for health and wellness. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview with Tania as much as I did. That was so much fun for me because it didn't even really feel like an interview. It just felt like it was having a good conversation with one of my good friends just around a topic that I love to talk about, defining success for yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got something from these 3 takeaways. Make sure you start putting them into action. Find some sort of a game plan. Define success for yourself, if you will, and then take action step number 1, lean in to that version of success for yourself so that you can get closer and closer to your best you.